Toastmasters Simrit, Tik Boom. Tik Boom, Toastmasters Simrit.
I remember it like it happened yesterday. Gunshots were fired next to me and I began to run. And as I was running, I could see the finishing line coming closer and closer to me in slow motion. And I finally touched the finishing line, becoming victorious. While my friend Aditya came last, looking at his sad and dejected face, I quickly went to him, put my arm across his shoulders and said, "Hey buddy, don't worry, you came first too." Aditya looked at me with his eyes filled with rage and said to me, "Simrit, do you think this is funny? I wanted to prove to everyone that I can run too, that I can come first as well." Contest chair, fellow runners, did you ever want to prove anybody that you can come first too? Now, touching the finishing line first was always my go-to thing in school. I used to cherish coming first in school, but my grades didn't. Now, ladies and gentlemen, hear me out. There's always been one thing, if not all, that we outperform ourselves every year in school. Think about it. You may be the best in one subject, but it was never maths. You may be the most popular boy or girl in school, but never in the eyes of your teacher. Or you may be that boy with the astounding chord sense, trying to woo you know who, but when it came to your grades, teachers themselves said, "Nonsense." I too was a speck in the springtime of life, trying to bloom, and I did. Ladies and gentlemen, it was the day that I was needed the most in my life, and I ran. Not only touching the finishing line first was my reward, but also getting attention of my peers. But the icing on the cake was getting attention of a few girls too. I was thriving in this race called life. Now there were T-2 days left for the D-Day to come. I was coming home from school and suddenly I saw a speeding motorbike come at me and it hit my face. It was at that point of time I saw my podium finish turn into a fatal crash landing. My heart skipped a beat. While I was recovering at home, I got a phone call from none other than my best friend Aditya. He called me and told me, "Simrit, don't worry. Remember, you came first too." Ladies and gentlemen, it was at that time I realized that there's much, much more to life than just winning a race. Life moved on and I switched tracks to a different track, the track of life where I was told to take 4 steps backwards to move 2 steps forward. It was college, ladies and gentlemen. The very first day of college, I entered into my class and I sat down, and it was at that time my heart skipped a beat. And this time for good. The best part was that we became lab partners. I couldn't wait for the day that I asked her to be my life partner. My heart ran in this race, ladies and gentlemen. I was so irrevocably in love with her that I went to her and asked her, "Can we change our status from a mere lab partner to life partner?" She said, "You're too fast." And I said, "That's what they call me in school. I was the number 1. And here, can I be the one?" Now, ladies and gentlemen, just as I switched tracks to start afresh in college, she too switched hers. She too switched her lab partner for knowledge. Life moved on. This time, I didn't run, but time did. Ladies and gentlemen, how often do we think that coming first and touching the finishing line is a sign of victory? All of us, right? Ladies and gentlemen, in my obsession of touching the finishing line first, I spoiled my friendship, my relationship. More importantly, my life seemed like a race against time. Ladies and gentlemen, how often do we feel that obsession, that burning fire within us to touch the finishing line first and prove others that we can run too, that I can come first as well. Always we have that burning desire, but it's more important to walk our own path in this race of life. Think about it. In Toastmasters, we have different pathways. You may touch the finishing line first and achieve your pathway completion before I may. But it does not mean that I may not complete my race. Let's keep that pathway mentality in life too. After all, we have our different challenges. We have our different obstacles to face, our own finishing lines to touch and become victorious. Contest.